What's going on, beautiful people? Jesse Moon here, and I am joined today with my business partner, my brother in Christ, Alex Tabor. What's going on, Alex? Where are you hailing to us from?
What's going on tonight, Jesse? I am hailing from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Actually, right outside Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're at our 90-acre ranch over here, just south of Coweta. For any Oklahomans that may be watching this, you're probably like, "Where in the heck is Coweta?" That's where I'm at, Coweta, Oklahoma.
You guys just had like 7 or 8 tornadoes, right? Back to back to back.
No, we had more. So Sunday, it was crazy, man. Sunday we had 7 tornadoes. Monday we had 3 or 4, and then Tuesday we had another 2 or 3. And it was nuts. It's been insane. But today, the day after election, today has been a beautiful day here in Oklahoma.
I bet there's a new hurricane out there too in the Gulf. I think his name is like Raphael or something like that, right?
I haven't heard about the new hurricane, but I'm sure it's going to plaster Florida, right?
I'm pretty well. It's going to hit. It's going through the Gulf, going to hit Texas, the Texas Louisiana type thing. But hey, guys, if you're watching us, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching the replay, we just want to thank you for taking some time out of your evening to hop on here. I know it's late. Some of you guys stayed up late last night, so you guys are probably freaking tired right now, or you're probably already laying down on the pillow. I just want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to come and hang out with us today. We're going to talk about some finances. We're going to talk a little bit about mindset. We're going to talk a little bit about opportunity, and we're going to talk about the future a little bit. I don't want to talk too much in politics. We all know who won the election. We'll dive a little bit into it, but one thing I want to do before we talk about any politics, I want you to know that I am you and you are me, and we're the same. We just want to win in life, guys. And if we can't disagree and still be friends and eat steak dinners together, if you eat steak, I eat steak, then we don't need to be friends, okay? Because we're going to have some disagreements together in life. We're not always going to agree, uh, but as long as we're chasing after the same thing, and that's financial freedom for our families, that's future generations that's going to be provided for, and that's just for our family to be taken care of. I think, I mean, we're human beings, right? So as long as we can agree upon that, I think we can rock and roll together in life. Okay.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense, Alex?
Perfect sense. Perfect sense.
It's I've lost I think about 6,000 followers today for whatever reason. It lets me know they're weak-minded people. Um, I've received so many hate messages,
Wow.
and I'll tell you, it's I can't. It's people I served with in the military. I'm receiving hate messages from people that I used to do business with from previous companies that I was with. They're messaging me, and with some pretty hateful things, and I don't know why. I haven't said anything about anything. Um, I guess just because I voted a different way than them. Hey, I voted for who I felt was best going to benefit my family, who I thought was best going to benefit your family, and obviously help business grow. And when business grows, wealth flows throughout the communities, and that's what we need. And I got 7 kids, so yeah, we'll talk about politics later on. But I want to get into helping people change their mindset as we embark upon 2025. Alex, um, I want you to share your story real briefly about how you went from being a blue collar worker, turning wrenches, to now operating and running your own business in the financial industry as an entrepreneur. Take us on that journey a little bit, Alex.
Sure. Appreciate it, Coach. So yeah, I was a blue collar guy, knew nothing but turning wrenches and busting my knuckles and bleeding all over things for a living. And of course, pandemic happened, and that opened a lot of doors to a lot of
Pandemic.
the pandemic. The pandemic happened, and that opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people to have an exit strategy, even though they didn't really know that that's what it was. Now that I look at it as, hey, that was opportunity for me. But at the time when you're going through something like that, it's scary, and you don't really know what's going to happen or where your next paycheck's going to come from or if you're going to go into another job or what. And the opportunity was presented to me to get started in financial services, which I had absolutely no experience in. It was actually a scary transition going from blue collar world, which is all I've ever known, was working on Harleys and working on motorcycles and heavy equipment and hot rods and street rods and stuff. I'm a car guy, guys, in case you can't tell from a wall behind me. I'm actually out here in the garage right now, sitting right across from a 1937 Ford street rod. And guys, I'm a car guy. I love cars. I love motorcycles. I like heavy equipment, but I don't see myself doing that all throughout my 60s and 70s. It was a kind of an eye-opening experience when I was a shop foreman at a heavy equipment yard, and I started looking across the shop going, man, 2 out of the 5 technicians that are out here are still in their 60s turning wrenches. They don't have any retirement plan or any plan on getting out of it. They're just going to work until they die. I don't want that to be me. And so my father, he was a business owner over 40 years. He owned his own advertising and trade show firm. My mother, she was a highly successful individual in the radio industry. She was the first female general sales manager over 3 radio stations in Oklahoma. It's crazy. So I had some big shoes to fill. I didn't want to just be another employee working on building somebody else's dream. I wanted to figure out what my dream was and start working towards building it, figuring out the steps to take. And I mean, Jesse, you know, just as I do, that they don't teach entrepreneurship in our public school systems. They teach you how to go to work, get a job, enter into a 401k, open a bank account, and slave away for the rest of your life, which for some, hey, somebody got to flip the burgers, right? As Andrew Tate says. But for others, and some that have a little bit higher ambitions, maybe they're thinking, well, I just don't know what to do, or I don't know where to start. And the first thing you got to do is you got to find a mentor and a coach to put in your life. And I'm so thankful that I was brought into this industry, and I was brought under the leadership of this gentleman right here, Jesse Moon, because without this man right here, I'm just going to tell you right now, without this man right here, from the knowledge of him and the leadership from him, taking me under his wing and showing me how to build and scale a profitable business, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So you have to find a mentor and a coach, and it doesn't matter. You don't have to know everything. That's what I think causes paralysis by analysis with so many people that are trying to find that exit strategy, that maybe they're a blue collar worker, maybe they're a white collar worker, maybe they're a garbage man, and they're trying to figure out, what can I do on the side that I can do and build up and scale, and slowly over time, over months or maybe years, replace what I'm currently doing as a 9-to-5 and take control back of my time so I can be with my family. And for me, this industry was it. And it taught me so much about business, because it's not only just financial services that we do, guys. I mean, you got to start somewhere. And once you build and scale one business, you can pivot and you can start building and scale another business based off what you learned. And it just gets easier and easier. Jesse says it a lot with the first million is hard, right? It's inevitable, but it's who you become to make that million that sets you apart. You have to increase your identity for you to be able to make and maintain that kind of income. If you don't increase your identity, then you're just going to spend away everything you make, and your income's going to go back down to what your current identity is.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, man. Thanks for sharing that. I know that growing up in Oklahoma and being a blue collar worker, sometimes it can kind of be like a shock whenever you are looking to, I think the older you get, the more difficult it is to be able to step out into a different career, step out into the unknown, because now you have a lot of responsibility under your belt. Okay. And many of you who follow me, you know my story. I served 16 years in the military, and I was a good soldier. Being a soldier was easy, maxing out PT tests, having the highest score, breaking land navigation records, being deployed. All that stuff was easy for me. Therefore, I kept re-enlisting, right? And then I don't know what it was. Say it again.
You were in your comfort zone.
I was in my comfort zone. I was. It was tough for other people, but hey, I grew up camping. I grew up hiking. I grew up riding four wheelers and dirt bikes. I grew up in the woods. Like the military was, just me being a big kid again, right?
Yep.
So, some point around 2010, Jesse Moon tried to start making decisions for me. I went off of God's purpose for me, God's path, and I wanted to pave my own path for whatever reason it was. So I applied to Officer Candidate School. I got accepted. That same day, February 10th, 2010, I got accepted to Officer Candidate School. I blew my knee out. That evening, I went to play basketball, blew my knee out. I said, you know what? I said, I'll go through 6 months of therapy. I'll go back to Officer Candidate School. Well, the Army regulation came out and said, you can't have more than 6 years active federal service. I'm like, God, you closed that door. I said, what am I going to do now? I said, I want to get out of the military now. So I applied to the FBI. I went through the first phase. I took the written exam, skyrocketed on that thing. I was sitting in the room with the private investigators, lawyers, and here I am, just a measly old soldier, right? Maxed out the test. And then I went through, sit in front of the second phase of the test was to sit in front of a panel of special agents. And then I went through the third phase, which was the polygraph. So I was just waiting on orders to go to Quantico. And 2010, the government did a hiring freeze for 3 years. Hiring freeze. I'm like, God, you closed another door. What is it that you have for me? And it was that time where I had to make a decision to get out of the military or re-enlist. So the fear, something inside of me wanted to get out. Something inside of me wanted to get out. My camera went off, guys. It'll be back on just a second. So something inside of me wanted to get out. So I had a boss voice that said, "You got this. You can do this. You can do anything you set your mind to." But the bitch voice was loud. The bitch voice was saying, "You're not good enough, Jesse. You got too many responsibilities, Jesse. If you were younger, you could do this, Jesse. Nobody's gonna hire you, Jesse. You're not good enough. All you have is military experience, which doesn't equivalent to civilian experience." So I let the bitch voice talk me into re-enlisting again. However, I did something very special when I did re-enlist. I gave my kids my Montgomery GI Bill, my college education. I transferred it to them. So I automatically owed the military 3 more years. So I tried to get out in 2013. They said, nope, you owe us 3 more years. I'm like, dang. So 2017 rolled around. It was my last time to re-enlist. I got out after 16 years, 4 years shy of retirement. Everybody said, First Sergeant Moon, why are you getting out 4 years shy of retirement? I said, I'd rather be crazy and rich than normal and broke. Because I did just like you, Alex. I looked at people with 20 years in the military, 25 years in, 30 years in. I said, are they driving the car I want to drive? Are they living in the home I want to live in? Are they taking the vacations that I want to take? And they weren't. So I said, why would I spend another day in the military if it's not going to get me closer to where I want to go? So I sat down with my wife, we had a conversation, and we decided to hang my boots up in pursuit of entrepreneurship. And similar to you, I mean, we got 7 kids, Alex. That's a lot of responsibility, right? To get to leave everything you knew, right? So I told her, I said, every successful person I've ever met, they're either a business owner or an entrepreneur. If we want to live the lifestyle that we want to live, I have to become a business owner and an entrepreneur. But here's the crazy thing, Alex. I didn't know shit about being an entrepreneur or a business owner.
Yeah.
So I did what everybody else did. I went to YouTube. I Googled. First, I Googled, what is an entrepreneur? What is an entrepreneur? Right? What is capitalism? What is free enterprise? Right? And I started learning. One video led to another video that led me to my first coach and mentor in this financial industry. Many of you may know his name, Patrick Bet David. and I wanted to do whatever he was doing because he was a Humvee mechanic, an Army vet, and now he's a Deca millionaire. I said, if he can do it, I can do it. So I followed him, right, and learned from him. We crossed $500,000 in the financial industry. We crossed six figures in our first 7 months. Crossed $250,000 in about 2.5 years. We crossed $500,000 about year 4, year 5, and then now we're running our own company called Legacy Army Financial Group.
Yep.
And we're gonna make an impact. And if you don't know who we are, get ready, guys. Get ready. We're not playing small. We got big thinkers here. But I say all of that to say this, folks. If you're watching this, I want to look you in your eye right now. I want to tell you it's not too late. You don't have too many responsibilities. You have time. But don't think you have too much time. You got to get started like yesterday. And Alex, we discussed this earlier. I want to let each and every one of you know, starting in January, a new president is going to take over. Whether you like him, whether you hate him, he's good for the American economy. He's good for the stock market. He's good for investing. He's good for business. He's a businessman. In America, if you haven't noticed, America, the United States of America is a corporation. Did you guys know that? It's a business.
Yep.
Okay. Your birth certificate is a business number. That's why all your names written on federal documents is in big, bold letters. You are part of the business. Do you guys understand this, right? Hopefully you do. If not, we can talk about it in a different video.
I mean,
I'll do a training.
The big corporations, they use that as a business model anyway. I mean, you're a U.S. citizen. You have a little card that you carry with a number on it, a social security number. When you go into a large corporation, especially a government corporation, they give you an ID tag. It's got a number on it. Everything is a business model.
Yep.
And as far as you saying, Coach, you think that you're too, oh, it's not for me. I got too many responsibilities right now. I'm too old to get anything started. I'm not a young man anymore. Well, I'm just going to let you know, Colonel Sanders founded KFC when he was 40, but it didn't get off the ground until he was in his 50s and 60s.
That's right. Most millionaires make their millions after the age of 50.
Yeah.
Welcome to the panel, Mark Cassara.
What's
Did
happening?
you say welcome to the pound?
The panel.
I thought you were saying dog pound.
Okay, this is the doghouse then. That's what I feel like, right? The doghouse. I graduated high school from a place called Pendleton High School, and winning a lot of basketball games while we were there. We were the Pendleton Bulldogs, and we would come out to the song "Who Let Them Dogs Out."
Yep.
So yeah, we're going to the pound.
What are we talking about?
Welcome to the panel, man. We're just talking about hope, prosperity,
yes,
being a big thinker, and having people not wait until next year, but talking about getting started now. It's I think these next 4 years, this is when you have to fight to make your money.
You wait till next year, you're already behind. I mean, if you've got
2025 has already started.
If you got the fire in your belly to start something new and to find your own exit strategy with whatever you're currently doing, you need to start learning a craft now. You need to start putting things in motion now so that when January comes, you've already got the ball rolling, and now you can take massive action on the plan to get you out of whatever 9 to 5 you're trying to get out of.
Yeah,
it was
Cindy Moon. You're at Cindy Moon.
It was November.
Cindy Moon, you're at the right rally.
That's it. But it was November. I actually sent a picture to Mark. May have sent to both of you guys. It was November when I got started in financial services, when I made that declaration when I made that declaration about I'm ready to get out. I'm ready to find my exit strategy. And I think this is the strategy that's going to take me out of my 9 to 5. And it was actually Mark Cassara that brought me into business. And then Jesse took me under his wing, and it was a lot of I just followed in the same footsteps as these gentlemen right here. The way that Mark got out of his 9 to 5, I'll let him share that with you. But it was a lot of sitting in his car on the side of the road and learning from a coach and a mentor, like we mentioned before. Same thing when I was a heavy equipment mechanic. I kept a clean polo shirt in the cab of my work truck. I'd Gojo my hands all up so I didn't look like I just got under the hood or something. Throw a clean polo shirt on. I'd hop on a call. I'd say, hey, thanks for joining me. I want to introduce you to my business coach and partner, Mr. Jesse Moon. Jesse, do we got you on call? He'd run the whole meeting. I'd learn, be absorbing like a sponge.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, let me ask you a question, man. Because I know you stayed up, and I know it seemed like a little bit you were voting for Kamala. I had to question you a little bit last night. You're like you're hanging on. CNN still hasn't called it. We were watching CNN earlier, like before I started this. They still haven't called it. I said, man, they're hanging on for dear life. Like it's the craziest thing. And then I was watching immediately afterwards last night. I stayed up till about 3:30. Now they were talking about he's a convicted felon, and like I'm like, God, like these people are disgusting. Yeah. What is your take on the amounts in which Trump won? We're not going to talk politics, but what is your take on the amount or the distance, the landslide, and what do you feel is going to help benefit your family over these next 4 years?
So what some of the political commentators are saying, even from the other side, is it was a wave, it was a landslide because of the gap that was there. This hasn't happened in many years, put it that way, where there was a popular Republican vote and it swept the entire nation. So that being said, listen, I saw a 12-minute video of TikTokers bawling their eyes out and crying and freaking out because of what just took place. Part of me feels bad for them because they have this idea of what their life is going to look like that may be a little warped from what they've heard on mainstream media and the left and all that stuff, right? But the other part is just like, he's not Jesus, right? He's not God. He's not living with you in your house. He's not your husband. He's not your wife. Get on with your life. Do the best that you can. Get a good job. Make money. Hope, pray, and petition that taxes are going to come down, interest rates are going to come down, home prices are going to come down, the stock market's going to level out, because traditionally in the cycles when Republicans take office, the stock market tends to do really well. You have 4 good years of an economy. Traditionally, I'm not just talking because of Trump, I'm just saying traditionally that's what the cycle looks like. So for me in my house, right? I posted something, don't worry about who's in the White House, worry about who's in your house. So for me in my house, this is an accumulation period for us. I started really late, financially speaking, in my life. Didn't really start getting the hang of this till I was in my late 30s. So for us, we're just diversifying and making sure that we're accumulating instead of just consuming. In other words, we're delaying our gratification for certain big purchases for when the time's right. We're sticking cash away in our cash value life insurance policy. I just front loaded 20 grand into a policy and I'm sitting on it. I'm waiting for the moment when it's time to pick up a house. We're going to use that as part of a down payment. So I can just instantly
You're not going to have to wait too long.
Not going to have to wait too long. So right now what we're doing is we're delaying buying a nice SUV. We could easily buy a nice SUV right now. $70,000 car. We're not, because we know that the time will come in 12 months from now when it'll be the perfect time to pick up that vehicle. But for right now, what we're doing is we're accumulating. We're bringing the cost of living down as much as possible. We're paying off high interest debt so that we can put ourselves in a very cash heavy position, because ladies and gentlemen, discount season is among us. It's going to be coming very, very soon. Within the next 12 months, we're going to see steep discounts with the used car industry, with the housing industry, with the financial industry. Crypto is going to be on steep discount. Speaking of, we can get into this at another time. Bitcoin just hit its highest high.
Oh, yeah.
72, 73, 24, I think it was. So it's not time to buy Bitcoin. It's time to either hold it or sell it and take a little bit of profit. But there's going to be a moment where things are going to pull back, right? Interest rates shot up again, right? Because this change in the economical position that we're being put in with Trump taking office, people are a little unsure. So when people are unsure, they make emotional decisions. So when you make emotional decision, the market gets really, really rocky. So let it stable off. Let the turbulence kind of settle for the next, we got 2-3 months until some major changes start to happen. So I'd say give it a good 6 months to let it settle down, and then really start putting your ducks where they need to go.
You say it's the accumulation, and I've heard that before, Mark, where people say this is the accumulation phase. It's the accumulation phase. I'm kind of looking at it a little bit different. I'm kind of looking at more of like, this is the positioning phase. You want to position yourself just right to where you're still protecting yourself, but you're able to do what you said. You're able to, overfund your cash value life insurance policies so you can leverage them later, and you're in a good position to then bring on other either assets or liabilities.
Yeah, when I say accumulation, I'm not saying accumulating physical things that are gonna value. What I'm saying is like make your money work for you even harder. So put your money in places where you're gonna compound it and grow it exponentially as fast as possible. A little bit in the market, a little bit in crypto, cash value, life insurance, those places. Just make sure you're not all risk, that you do have some safety, but I'm accumulating money as fast as possible so that I can be cash heavy for when the time comes, pick up those discounts,
That's it.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're positioning yourself to capitalize in a down market. Because the one thing that you have to understand is that when the market's good investors are hodling. They're accumulating. They're scared because they know the consumers are going to go buy it all up. But when the market's down, since they've been spending the last 7-8 years, because the market's up 7 out of 10 years. So we're just waiting. So we're looking to double everything we have in our life every 7 to 8 years because we've been playing the long game. Okay. While everybody else is spending, buying all these toys. Well, when that market drops, now we're cash heavy, like you were talking about, Mark, and we can pick up the Ferrari for 150,000 instead of 350,000, just because we had cash to do so, and they needed to get rid of it. So, and then we just go and sell it back for 200,000, and we just made a 50,000 profit because we were in a position to do that. Okay. Me and my wife, we're looking at homes right now. We've been looking at homes for the past couple months, and kid you not, since 2020, these homes have inflated by 20-30%. The asking price, like these homes are not worth double what they were pre-COVID. Okay. But we're looking at homes, and we're seeing some of these homes lower their prices by 30,000, by 100,000, by 120,000. We're looking at $1 million homes, and now they're 800,000. They were 1.1 when we started looking at them. 2 months later, they're 850,000. It's because people understand what's coming, and I don't care who's in the White House, as Mark said, is who's in your house. We don't care about what's going on in Wall Street. We're worried about what's going on your street, okay, exactly. Where your family's at. And right now, you have to protect what's yours. That's your mindset first and foremost. What's going in here? You got to guard the doorway of your mind.
Yep.
You got to protect your family. So if you don't have any weapons, go and buy you some weapons and exercise the Second Amendment, guys. Okay. Truth. You're going to protect your family, and you're going to protect your neighbors. Okay. Because all my veterans out there, this, we raised our right hand and we said, we swear to protect the Constitution of the United States against enemies, foreign and domestic.
Right.
Okay. Foreign and domestic. Okay. So we're ready. We're ready, guys. The second thing you want to do is you want to protect your faith. This is why your inner circle has to be together. You got to protect your faith and what you stand for. As my wife mentioned, like we voted based on our values and our principles, right, and our religious belief. Okay, it just wasn't because we like this person, we don't like this person. That's that petty, immature stuff. So we voted based on our family values and principles. But guys, positioning yourself now is what you have to do.
Yeah, 100%.
And here's why. The undoing that this administration is going to have to do, it's not all up to the administration. It's up to every individual citizen of the United States. We have to take extreme ownership. We have to love one another, be kind to one another, help one another, believe in one another. We do what we have to do. You do what you have to do, and the world's going to be a better place. That's unity. Okay. But if we're all fighting back and forth, Mark, how many followers did I lost over 6,000 followers in the past 24 hours? How many did you lose?
Yeah, about 3,000. Absolutely.
That's crazy, man.
I'm the only one that gained. I've gained followers.
But listen, I didn't necessarily even mention the name Trump in any of my posts. I was just posting patriotic flags and trains. People,
they want you posting teddy bears.
Did you see this one? This one lady messaged me. Let me just show you what she messaged me. I'll read it off. She just messaged me. It went to my spam folder, but she said, "Oh man, where is it?" She said, "You are supporting a," and then she just named a whole bunch of slandering names. I'll go ahead and assume you aligned with that person that you're supporting. I'll never forget what part you played in the mess that is to come. Listen.
This is ugly, man.
Listen, at the end of the day, here's how I vote. I vote based on what I see, hear, and what I believe, as far as do they represent sanctity of life, sanctity of marriage, humanity? Are they as far as like doing things for us, for Americans that are going to benefit us, statesmanship, business, right? So we may not like the person, we may not like what they say, what they do in their personal life. Can they run a company? Can they run a business? Can they run a country? That's kind of where I'm coming from. Now, was he the best candidate? What best candidate in the world? Absolutely not. There could probably be 100 better qualified people, but I'd rather vote for the most qualified person that has actually done it in the past. So anyway, I try not to get too political on Facebook because I know it really messes with people and I lose a lot of followers. I think a couple of years ago, I lost 20, 30,000 followers because I was
in 2020 we were banned every time.
Yeah, I was being very banned every time. I try to keep a little bit of a bias balance. I respect your view. I know Jesse, you voted for Kamala, so I respect that. I honestly respect that.
Hey guys, I want to answer somebody's question that says, because I don't think anybody on here voted for Kamala. She didn't even win the primaries in 2020. She didn't even make it to Ohio.
Answer Edgar's question.
Yeah, I'm going to answer Edgar's question. I'm going to show it right here. Edgar Leedy, hopefully I'm not jacking that last name up, said, I have a quick question before I go. My income is about 80,000 and I have around 10,000 saved and 24,000 in the stock market that I've been putting almost 4,000 every month into my house, or 4,000 every month to my house. I'm going to assume that's extra towards your house payment. That way you can pay it off quickly. My wife, she doesn't work, and I have a car that I owe 25,000. Should I take that money out? Man, I feel like Dave Ramsey right here. If I was Dave Ramsey, I'd say get you an envelope and live out of that thing. Hey, no, brother. Listen here, guys.
It's all about creating financial velocity. Where can you do that the most?
Well, let me ask you a question first and foremost. Do you like paying taxes? I'm going to assume that the answer is no. Hell no, we don't like paying taxes. Okay. You got a wife, so it tells me you're probably going to have some kids if you don't have kids already. Your two biggest tax deductions during your accumulation years, which is you're a young man, so during your working years is what? Your two biggest tax deductions. Somebody tell me. Your property, your home.
Us, or are you asking the audience?
I'm asking anybody.
Yeah, your kids.
I think there might be another. It's your kids and your property.
Yep.
So why would you pay off your home and lose that big tax deduction every tax year?
Wouldn't.
Let me show you a better way. show you a better way. Open up you a properly structured cash value life insurance policy. Instead of paying $4,000 extra towards your home, put that pay off your home, stretch that mortgage out. As long as you're locked into a small interest rate, lower interest rate, 2, 3, 4%, not 8, 9, 10%. You're gonna have to refinance that here in a couple months anyway. Take that extra, put it towards a cash value life insurance policy. Let that thing compound for 5 to 10 years, and then you're going to take a loan from it and pay off your house early anyway. While all of your money that you're paying towards the house, let's say it's $100,000, you take $100,000 loan from your cash value life insurance policy, pay your home off. That $100,000 is still compounding interest inside the policy as if you never touched it. As Alex said, is what you're doing is you're becoming the bank and you're creating something called financial velocity. You're getting your money to work for you in multiple places at the same time. That's what the banks do with your money. So for your car, man, I work and I have a car and I owe $25,000. Should I take that money out and pay off my car? Listen, if you're going to do that, that's not a bad idea, but don't pay cash for your car and just because once you pay the $25,000 for your car, you never get that money back.
Yep.
Okay. Do you know if there's a white screen on here?
Fairy dust.
Let's see.
Click on present. See what that does.
Present. Share screen. There's not a white screen. I'm going to pull up a white screen real quick.
I mean, if it was me, if you had 25,000, if you already had like cash value life insurance policy going and you had access to it, leverage it already, I would like take a loan out and do what Mark did, buy a Fiat, little cheap throwaway car, drive that, and then rent. If your car is a nice car that you've got 25,000 left to pay off, I'd rent that sucker out on Turo and make that an income generator.
We're renting one of our cars right now on Turo. $1,000 a month we're getting from the rental. We're using that $1,000 to pay off our other car. We're almost completely out of one payment for another car. Once we pay off that car, we're going to double up the payments on the second car. We're going to pay that loan down. In the next 12 months, we're going to be completely debt-free as far as car payments. We're not going to have any more car payments. So you got to find out how you can leverage your assets that you already own.
I wouldn't pay your house off. That's a tax write-off.
I'd leave your house.
Yeah. In fact, make one of your bedrooms in your house an office. Classify that as an office. And there's one book that I recommend this book to everybody.
Hey guys, y'all all y'all doing is paralyzing him.
A lot of info.
That's all you're doing, paralyzing him. You just told him like 6 different strategies. But you know he's going to text wealth to 817-670-5170.
That's it.
He's going to get educated. So, but I'm going to share my screen because I want to share with him what I'm talking about with the car. Okay. Share screen, whiteboard. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep. Gotcha.
Okay. I don't need the object. Right. There we go. Okay. So check this out. People traditionally pay for an automobile by one of 2 ways. They're either going to get auto lending or they're going to pay cash. Okay. Let me put this down here. Auto lending, you go to the car dealership, you find the car you like, you'll get auto lending. Let's say you get a $70,000 car. Actually, we'll use his. A $25,000 car for 5 years. And let's say you pay $500 per month for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, you have no money left, but you have an old car. The problem here is you're paying compound interest to the dealership. You don't have any money. You're paying all your money. The dealership now has your money. Or you pay cash. You take that $25,000 out of your bank, you do a HELOC, home equity line of credit, cash out refinance. Maybe you take a loan from your 401k and you got to pay that back too. and the money's gone. It can never work for you again. But what we teach is this: you're going to save this money. So if I were you, you had 25,000. Let's say you take this 25,000, you stick inside of a cash value life insurance policy. Okay, 25,000. You pay cash for this car. Now, let's say you were paying $500 payment to the dealership, and you just want to get the car over with because you don't want to pay the interest. Well, what's going to happen is you're going to take this 25,000, put it inside this cash value life insurance policy. We're going to make sure we properly structure it, meaning minimize the death benefit, maximize the cash value. And one of the carriers we represent has a immediate liquidity feature on it where you can access 92% of this after 31 days. So you'll take a loan of what, about 22,000, pay that car off in cash, and then pay yourself back $500 per month as if you were the bank at a 0% interest rate. Okay. At the end of 5 years, you have all of your money, you have all of the interest that accumulated, plus you have your old car. My friend, you became the bank. So that's what I would do. Would you guys do anything different with that car?
Nah, I love it.
Yeah,
That's great.
That's what I'd do
Great
with the car.
strategy.
I'd keep the house.
All
though.
that is putting your money to work for you.
I'm considering doing the exact same thing right now. Pay off my fiat, and then start just whatever payments I was making to the fiat, paying off my life insurance policy. Number one, because the interest is half of what my fiat is. I think my fiat, I got it when my credit was a little lower. It's like 10 or 11%. Interest is crazy. So my life insurance policy is only about 5%. So I'd rather take that money, pay off the high interest car loan, and then just take that $400 a month and pay off my life insurance policy at my own leisure. And here's the thing: if I want to skip a couple months, I can, because it's a non, what we call a what's it called, I forget the terminology for it, but you don't have to pay it off on a schedule. In other words, you can pay it off whenever you want. The loan
There's
is
no contractual agreement.
well, there's no contract, right? It's flexible loan terms, so you can pay it off. I can pay it off all in one lump sum over 6 months, or I can take 2 years to pay it off. It doesn't matter. So that's one of the strategies. So hopefully that gave you an idea.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yep.
It's we're about to do that with some jet skis.
Yeah,
Oh,
It's the season where, and Alex will tell you, it's the season where
Now's
they don't want to pay to store them
Yeah.
over the winter time. They don't want to winterize them because they're freaking lazy, and they're just letting them go for like good skis for bottom dollar, and we
Yeah, you
can
get
take those.
good deal. Any of these, they call them motorsports, right? Any of these motorsports or recreation ventures that you want to get in the fall is the best time to do it, especially when you're talking about watercraft, boats, because there's people that, one, they got into it, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know how to winterize it, and they're paralyzed by thinking it's going to cost some outrageous amount to store it over the winter or winterize it properly, or run the risk of cracking the block or breaking something if it freezes. So they just sell it and they unload it. So now's a great time to be leveraging, like Mark, leveraging a cash value life insurance policy and going out and purchasing something for the family to enjoy next spring.
Yep, I
That's
love
it,
it.
man. That's another example of positioning yourself to capitalize when everybody else is just trying to stay afloat. It's not that you're a bad guy or a bad woman or a bad person, and you're not taking advantage of anybody. It's just you're taking your fiscal discipline, positioning you and your family to capitalize when they could be doing the same exact thing. But the problem is they choose to go spend money they don't have
Mhm.
to buy things they don't really need.
Well, it's all about being a steward of
They're
God's money,
consumers. Yep.
right? You got to be a good steward of God's money for God to be able to bless you with more. But let's even another question here too.
Yeah, Edwin Nico, we've had this conversation, I believe. He said he's getting 100,000 equity loan from his house. Can I do the same thing as a car? Yes, please do. It's too many people are about to lose the equity that they have built up in their home over the past 3-4 years. And I have people messaging me talking about, I need to redo my bathroom. I need to build a deck on my house. So they're taking the equity out of their home and putting it right back into the home. Well, you know your home's about to lose value. So how do you protect that value? You take equity out of it, you stick it in a cash value life insurance policy. At least you're protecting the equity of the home, even though the value drops. We know the value is going to go back up. We don't know when, but the value is going to go back up. That's the cool thing about real estate. But you protected the equity of the home, and it's still going to be compounding interest. If not, you're going to be sitting there paralyzed, and don't say, oh, because I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what to do with it. Well, you didn't ask the questions. Like right now, nobody's asking the questions, right? To get the answers. We're here to help you. Okay. We're not these guys that you see on social media. Mark is a previous youth minister. Him and his wife ran a mega church. I gave up a 16-year military career to come and educate you and fight the war on poverty. Okay. We believe in you, and we came here to help you. You know what I'm saying?
Alex is full blue collar.
Yeah, 100%.
I just got a white collar on right now, but yes, I am full blue collar, and my neck is still red. So
protect the equity. Protect the equity. Yes. Do a cash out refinance. Do a HELOC. Do something to get some equity out of that home. Okay. So, and then put that money to work for you. If not, you're going to lose it, and then you're going to contact us once it drops, and then you're going to say, what can I do? And we're going to tell you it's too late. It's happened numerous times. If you have an old 401k plan with a previous employee, I don't care if it's got $10,000 in it or $1 million in it. It's sitting there going up and down with the market. We can help you protect that money, and you never have to worry about losing again. Okay. So don't listen to those TikTok people that are just regurgitating the information we're giving out because they don't really know how to do it. So it's, Mark, I was telling Alex before I hopped on here, and I don't know if they're watching right now, but we're about to replace 2 annuity contracts that were written because they were poorly written. You remember the conversation we were having, and I asked you a simple question about a product. I said, why do you write with this product and not this product? And you said, because it charges a 1% fee for death benefit rider.
Yeah.
And in the next 10 years, my client's not going to be retiring in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. You remember that?
Yeah.
Well, both of these policies, they're 48 years old, and they're paying that 1%, 1% per year death benefit rider. Do you really want to pay that 1% when you could be putting that towards your accumulation?
Yeah.
So we're about to replace those policies.
Yeah.
I want to see people win.
Right.
And I believe that's why we're here. We got good hearts.
Yeah.
And we just got to get the knowledge to the right people. We got to get the knowledge to the people. So, but is there anything else on your mind, on your heart, Mark, before we hop off?
No, I just wanted to jump in here. Had a little bit extra time on my hand before I put the kids to sleep. It's a pleasure, doing this. I look forward to doing another live, getting that podcast started. Season 2, man. We got to educate people.
Season 2, Legacy Syndicate Podcast.
Listen, a million people. We got to educate 1 million people over this next season of our journey. We got to do it.
Here, check this out. We'll go ahead and do this.
There you go.
There it is, right there.
There it is.
Legacy Syndicate Podcast, Season 2.
Let's go.
Coming up.
All right, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, brother, man. Guys, I just want to thank you for your time tonight. We're going to be bringing the value. We're going to be bringing the information, and we're going to be 2 faces. With Alex on here, 3 faces. You're not going to be able to forget us, guys. Okay. With that being said, good night. God bless everyone.
Take it easy.